Domestic violence touches the lives of Americans every 9 seconds. Every 3 minutes, a woman is raped. More than 3 million children witness acts of domestic violence every year. In Arizona, every 5 minutes, a law enforcement officer responds to a domestic violence call.
Domestic violence and child abuse touch the lives of more people than you would want to believe. Arizona is #2 in the nation in the number of women murdered by men.
Domestic violence accounts for more than 50% of female homicides in our state, and 1 out of every 3 Arizona women will experience domestic violence sometime in her life. 1 out of 3.
The statistics are staggering. The impact that domestic violence and child abuse has on families, friends, and the workforce give an insight into even more of this sad story. It is estimated that domestic violence alone costs American businesses up to $5 billion each year in absenteeism, lower productivity, higher turnover, and health care and safety costs. There is no way to put a dollar amount on the emotional and psychological damage that wives, moms, sons, and daughters suffer from the impact of domestic violence and child abuse. However, this problem reaches far into the social structure of each of our lives.
In the next few minutes, we'll introduce you to the Arizona Foundation for Women, an organization whose mission is to protect the lives of women and children in Arizona touched by domestic violence and child abuse. The statistics prove that there is a need for programs that address the issues of domestic violence and child abuse. And unless we unite and support these programs, the problems will not go away. They will only grow and touch the lives of even more of our families and friends.
Remember, 1 out of every 3 Arizona women will experience domestic violence sometime in her life. 1 out of 3.
The Arizona Foundation for Women was created when a group of local businesswomen came to the understanding that there was a need for an organization to address the needs of abused women and children of Arizona.
I felt that women and children had a right to be safe. I feel all people have a right to be safe, but we're concentrating on the most, probably the most vulnerable.
What we have done is focused on unmet needs, and so we try to study what is going on in the state of Arizona and what is not happening. We look for the gaps in what is being done to serve the needs of women and children around these issues of domestic violence and child abuse.
And it just occurred to me that there really was not a foundation in Arizona that concentrated on that, as well as concentrated on taking the resources we garnered and made real and putting it behind the organizations that are out there doing the work.
A foundation like the Arizona Foundation for Women can hold their hand out to these women simply by funding organizations that have programs out there to help other women.
Every year, board members visit the organizations that we fund to find out what they're doing, how well it works.
The shelters, the educational classes, the things that needed to happen to change society, the lobbying with the legislature.
Since its inception, the Arizona Foundation for Women has proven success in several signature programs that were created, staffed, and managed solely by AFW. The MAN program, Men's Anti-Violence Network, has proven to be a very successful program that was started to address the issues of domestic violence by focusing on the abuser.
One thing I've gotten out of belonging to the MAN group is a fair education on the nature of the problem. I hadn't given that much thought to it because it did not exist in my family. You know, none of my relatives that I knew were abusers. But I came to know that there was such a thing as abusers, and it was just puzzling to me. And now I'm beginning to understand what it really means. What some of the causes are understood psychologically, and fortunately some of the remedies are beginning to be put into place.
The bullying program that we have just implemented through our MAN organization is a nationally approved program to begin to break the cycle of domestic violence by introducing the thought concepts at a young age so that children growing up think about what it means to bully others or to be bullied and begin to understand how to handle those kinds of relationships from a very young age.
This isn't just something that's about money, but it's also about the humanness, humanity. It's like, you know, if you can help a child avoid being bullied, that means that that child will grow up to be a healthier adult.
The business and community leaders of MAN initiate programs to both increase public awareness and influence public policy. Their focus is on holding the abuser accountable and supporting prevention efforts. Their goal is to stop the cycle of violence.
One of the most important contributions that the Arizona Foundation for Women makes is our ability to identify the specific needs associated with domestic violence and child abuse. The next step is to then develop solutions to address those needs. Over the years, AFW has partnered with organizations and assisted in developing programs that have proven invaluable to help break the cycle of violence and abuse. The reality, it takes funding to realize the programs designed to help the women and children who are touched by the violence and abuse. And that brings us to you.
It's very important for you to understand that we need the help of the community. The community is a partner here. We all have to team together to help the children with these issues. We have to do it in a very sensitive manner. We can't go back to the emergency rooms and the police stations for these children. We need your help.
Funds are becoming more scarce, yet our population is growing. And so, the problems are also growing. So we need to turn to other places to help us seed some of these best practice programs.
It is important for our organization, the Red Cross, to continue receiving funding so that we are able to provide our services at no cost, at no charge to our clients. We want to be able to reach individuals who have no other place to go to, no other resources. And with us receiving the funding to be able to do this, we're able to better serve our community.
I think if Florence Crittenton wasn't here, that there would be so many young women. And in 18 years, I've seen thousands of girls and young women come through our doors. And if we weren't here, I'm just not sure what would have happened to them.
I would probably be back out on the streets, doing things I should not be doing, using drugs, bad behaviors, doing things that would not be good. This helped me out a lot because I would not be where I am today if it wasn't for Florence Crittenton.
Well, I can tell you from my own personal experience why it's important. It's important to me because I came from abuse. I was beaten and burned with cigarettes and starved as a child, although I grew up in a middle-class family in Scottsdale. So I understand how important it is to go out and help people overcome abuse or change their lives.
The unique demands inherent in domestic violence and child abuse are complex. Arizona is one of the fastest growing states in the country, and with that growth will come more cases of abuse to deal with. The solutions and answers to these problems are often hindered by the lack of funds. Talented individuals with ideas and solutions are in need of the funding it will take to make a difference.
I mean, this goes back generations, and our goal with AFW, with MAN, and with CAN is to try to break this cycle.
It is truly making a difference in this community, and we can see that difference in the few years that this organization has been in existence.
We know that where their money is going is not going to be spent on administration. It's going to be carefully tied with an organization that we know is doing a good project, that will have an end product that is excellent, and that will be part of an overall system to improve the lives of Arizona women and children.
We're funding programs where we see visible results. We see women escape from horrible situations and come out whole, saving their children, giving their kids a chance at life, giving them a second chance. And every single time you see a 13-year-old having a baby, you have to cry, not only for her life ending too soon in terms of her youth being over, but for the child who's going to have a child as a mother. This is the kind of stuff that we're passionate about. And I'm going to go to my grave believing that other people caring will make a difference.
There's a lot of work ahead, and we know it won't be easy.
The truth is, without your involvement, without your contribution and support, our dream of offering hope and solutions to those dealing with domestic violence and child abuse will be a much harder mountain to climb.
We know what the problem is. We know what the solution should be.
We know what we need to do in order to get the job done. All we need is you.